Chapter 2: Unexpected Awakening. The valley was a place forgotten by time. An ancient, bone-chilling mist clung to the ground like a shroud, swallowing all sound. The silence was not empty. It was a heavy, waiting thing, thick with unseen power. Jagged peaks, like the teeth of a dead god, clawed at the heavens. They surrounded Lin Wei, silent sentinels carved from black stone, their summits lost in the eternal twilight above. He was an ant at their feet. Scattered across the valley floor were towering monoliths, remnants of a bygone era. Upon their surfaces, intricate blue runes pulsed with a faint, rhythmic light. Each pulse was a heartbeat, sending waves of archaic power through the air. A distant roar echoed from beyond the peaks, a spiritual beast, a reminder of the world he had to conquer. This place, this simulation, was the first step. The world would soon change forever. Lin Wei raised a trembling hand. His fingers hovered inches from the translucent projection that had materialized from thin air. It was a window into another reality, cool and without a source. Before him, the 8 trigrams of the I Ching spun in a lazy, inexorable circle. Heaven, earth, thunder, wind. They were the building blocks of causality, the very language of the Tao. Energy diagrams spiraled out from the center, forming a celestial vortex of ethereal blue light. A voice echoed, not in his ears, but directly in his consciousness. It was cold, genderless, ancient as the stone beneath his feet, the system. Your body is the Tao's foundation. Without a vessel of tempered steel, no river of qi may steadfastly flow. Lin Wei inhaled sharply, the frigid air a shock to his lungs. So this is the path they wish me to walk, the mortal vessel first, before enlightenment. He sank into the opening stance shown on the projection, the heavenly crane position. One leg raised, arms spread like wings, a posture of impossible balance. His limbs began to shake violently. The strain was immediate, immense. Sweat, cold and heavy, beaded on his brow and traced lines through the grime on his face. Crack! A fissure, thin as a hair, spiderwebbed across the stone beneath his unstable stance. The raw, untamed force of his body was leaking out uncontrolled. Nearby boulders, each weighing several tons, trembled in sympathy. A sharp cracking sound echoed as one of the larger stones fractured, a web of lines appearing on its surface. He hadn't even touched it. Lin Wei's battered body screamed. The pain was raw, physical, a testament to his mortal fragility. There was no qi flowing within him, not yet. He could only feel the faintest circulation of external energy, a sluggish current stirring through meridians, long suppressed and unused. It was like forcing a river through a clogged drain. "Awaken your spirit roots," the system commanded, its voice implacable, "and show the Tao your resolve." As if in response, the sky above stirred. Aurora-like streams of multicolored qi, invisible to the mortal eye, but vibrant in this realm, began to weave through the clouds. The heavens themselves were watching. It felt as if the Tao itself had turned its gaze on this single, insignificant point in the valley. Before him, a new holographic scroll unfurled, stretching 100 meters into the air. Celestial symbols, anatomical charts of meridians, and the cosmic cycles of creation and destruction flashed across its surface. At its center, the symbols of yin and yang spun in perfect, hypnotic harmony. The system's voice returned, calm and formal as a 10,000-year-old scripture. External cultivation is the key. The body must be tempered like iron in a forge. Only then can the river of qi flow without shattering its banks. You have 30 days to break your limits. Each failure will reset the day. Lin Wei nodded slowly, his eyes fixed on the monumental scroll. To endure the suffering of flesh is to honor the Tao, he whispered, his voice hoarse. I will forge myself anew. He studied the scroll, his mind absorbing the data at an inhuman rate. A luminous line traced a path along his body's pulse points, showing the flow of a technique. Diagrams illustrating patterns of breath regulation pulsed in time with his own heartbeat. He chose the first technique, tendon rotation. It was less a martial art and more a form of planetary alignment. He moved. His arms began to spiral, slow and deliberate, mimicking the orbit of a distant star. His legs followed, rooting him to the earth, while his torso twisted like the axis of a turning world. His muscles screamed, trembling under a strain they were never meant to endure. Nerve fire, sharp and blinding, burned fiercely from his spine to his fingertips. He gasped, his breath ragged, his lungs on fire. A bolt of lightning, stark white, cracked across the sky, illuminating his pained grimace. Rain, cold and hard, began to pelt the stone platform. Lin Wei gritted his teeth, his jaw aching. "Why won't you flow?" he roared at the heavens, at himself. "Am I too weak for even this?" The system's tone was clinical, devoid of sympathy. Your spirit root is basic. Progress will be measured in millimeters, not miles. Strength is a river carved over millennia, not a flood that arrives in an instant. Patience. Frustration, hot and bitter, rose in his throat. He bit it back. "Then I will carve the riverbed myself." His fist clenched, the air around it compressed with a sharp whoomph. A shockwave, born of pure physical will, exploded outward, sending dust and loose pebbles flying. He began to strike, not with technique, but with raw fury. His fists met the nearby boulders, and rocks fragmented under the onslaught. His muscles spasmed with each impact. Nerves screamed with agonizing feedback. He felt the edges of his muscles tear. Each failure plunged him back into darkness, only to awaken on the same stone platform at the dawn of the same day. But with each reset, his essence endured. His stamina grew by a fraction. The pain became a familiar landscape, less unbearable than before. His clumsy, furious movements began to find a rhythm. They began to flow. His reflexes sharpened, honed by endless repetition, becoming as certain and deadly as a storm unleashed. After an unknown number of resets, the valley dissolved. A dim chamber unfolded around him, vast and silent, where ancient relics floated and turned in slow cosmic rotation. 6 immense glowing glyphs lit the darkness: body constitution, muscle density, spirit root affinity, meridian openness, mental resilience, pain threshold. Lin Wei studied his stats. They were pathetic. Basic spirit root, average body constitution, poor muscle cohesion. The system spoke, its voice echoing in the grand chamber. You may restart your days at will. All physical damage resets. Your essence, knowledge, and stats endure. Lin Wei's expression hardened into a mask of cold iron. Endless reset, endless breaking, endless forging. Perfect. Remember, the system stated, a final, unyielding truth. The Tao rewards no shortcuts, only perseverance. The chamber faded. The valley returned. His muscles, though born of data, rippled with newfound purpose. A dim spark of power, no bigger than a firefly, glowed for a moment in the center of his palm, before vanishing. It was the first sign. His breathing slowed, deepening into a steady, controlled rhythm. each reset was building reflexive strength into his very soul. The system hinted at what lay beyond this crucible. Spirit beasts from beyond the veil of this world. Mystical pills that could sharpen the soul and temper the bone. But for now, the journey remained the same. Pain, endurance, refinement. Lin Wei's eyes, no longer filled with frustration, burned with cold, unyielding defiance. This mortal vessel would be his crucible. No sudden flood of qi awaited him. There would be no miraculous enlightenment. There was only river-wrought strength to be forged through the pain of endless repeating nights. "Then begin," he murmured, sinking once more into the heavenly crane position. "Let this body become unbreakable."